Thank you, Ambassador. It is well known that hate conquers know no boundaries, that anti-Semitism may start with the Jews, but it spills over. The agenda of the evil mongers of yesteryear, had they succeeded with their first agenda, would have then come after the blacks, the Muslims, anyone who was not Aryan. Realizing that we're all in this together, this is not merely a Jewish thing. This is a challenge to the entire world. We are happy to call on the president of the Canadian Coalition of Progressive Muslim Organizations, Salma Siddiqui.
Survivors of the Holocaust. I would like to stay away from the dignitaries because they're already welcome. It's about them today, so excuse me. As speakers have noted before me, we are gathered here to pay tribute to all those who suffered and perished during what must be one of the worst and most horrendous human tragedies in living memory, the Holocaust. It is indeed a privilege to be with those who were put through such brutality and survived. So, to you all, we honor you. We cannot change history, but we must learn from it and dedicate ourselves to encouraging that a tragedy such as this is never again repeated. Just last night, we heard on CBC National the story of a Holocaust survivor, Miriam Ziegler. After these anniversaries are over, we must never forget these stories. We must make sure that such inhumanity never happens again. As Canadians, we have defeated the enemy time and again, and we can and must crush the monster of disharmony and radicalization. The recent rise of anti-Semitism in various parts of the world should put every right-thinking Canadian on their guard and impel us to do everything we can humanly do to fight such hate. I'm here today as a Canadian and a Muslim, both identities that give me great pride. As a Muslim, I take pride in our shared history with our Jewish brothers and sisters. Attacks on Jewish institutions and individuals, such as what happened in Paris, are reprehensible, unacceptable, and must be condemned in the strongest possible way, as should be the targeting of any community based on their ethnic and religious identities. And yet, among the hate that one saw in Paris, it was heartening to see that there are Muslims who are willing to aid and protect people of the Jewish community. A Muslim shop assistant saved a dozen lives at a kosher market is but one shining example of this. Reaching further back in history, I note with pride that Muslim communities helped and welcomed with open arms Jews fleeing atrocities during both Inquisition and the Holocaust. As a Canadian, I take pride in the pluralist and tolerant multi-faith society we have built in our country over the last 4 decades. Whilst we constantly hear of a rise in anti-Semitism across Europe, all Canadians must seek to embrace and ensure the safety of the community here. While an event such as Kristallnacht is unthinkable today, we have to be on guard against coercive forces who continuously seek to undermine the very fabric of the Canadian democracy and society. These extremist groups, often funded by foreign interest and governments, are busy spreading poison even in our own country. Extremism needs mistrust and divisions to flourish. Now is the time to strengthen relations between communities and with one voice speak out against the hate mongers who seek to divide us through violence and fear. Often these groups project into Canadian society conflicts from their own countries of origin. As Canadians, we have to be firm that such behavior is not tolerated and has no place in our society. At home here, I believe that our provincial governments should be more proactive in cracking down on anti-Semitism activities, such as Israel Apartheid Week events on university campuses, and which invariably turn into occasions for bigots to spout hateful propaganda and harass innocent people. We must stay united, and there should be zero tolerance for anti-Semitism in this country. Politics cannot and should not be allowed to encroach on this. I want to reiterate our commitment to live in harmony with our Jewish brothers and sisters, and to stand shoulder to shoulder with them in this fight against hate. I just went through a surgery last week, and to come here meant a lot for me. And I'm afraid that I may fall right now, but this is a commitment that we make to our Jewish brothers and sisters to humanity. And thank you. It's very overwhelming to be standing here and making this commitment, but we are committed. In closing, I want to announce, and Mr. Kenny was there when we announced our intent from the Canadian Coalition of Canadian Progressive Muslims to hold a symbolic fundraiser for the Holocaust Monument. Unfortunately, due to my health reasons, we couldn't do it. We are a very small organization, but we intend to carry it this year, and I hope Justin Trudeau will also participate in that. We must, as Canadians, come together and be an example for this world. Thank you very much for including me and all the work